pleasant evening and a very warm welcome to the national news of Rupavahini Channel I. I'm Dulanjali Anand. Joining me is Charita Miripurarachi. And these are the top stories which have made headlines for tonight. Sri Lanka wins the Asian netball crown for the 6th occasion. US official Samantha Power says attention is being focused on competitive Sri Lankan export market. The funeral of Her Royal Majesty Queen Elizabeth II takes place on the 19th of this month. Chandraratna Bandara felicitated by the Swarna Pustaka Award. Ahinsaka Mama, a Pinpal of Queen of Great Britain for 40 years. Today marks the completion of 21 years of the September 11th attack. Now for those and other stories in detail. Sri Lanka has regained its status as regional netball champions when it clinched the Asian netball crown for the 6th occasion today. The victorious team has crushed Singapore 63-53 in the finals played in Singapore.
This is the finals of the Asian Netball Championships 2022 between Sri Lanka and Singapore. Please welcome Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka has entered final as an unbeaten team throughout the tournament. However, the Singaporeans displayed more skills in today's encounter. At the end of the first quarter, the score of 19-13 in favour of Singapore. Singapore has added 11 more points in the second quarter as well.
Can they hold them out? 10 seconds and counting. It's a long ball into the middle. 4, 3, 2, oh my goodness.
However, the Sri Lankan team also managed to score 14 runs in this quarter in the game. However, Singapore was leading to 30-27 at half-time. Although the Sri Lanka team entered the third quarter 3 points behind Singapore, the great determination of the players has enabled to amass 19 more points for the team, while the rival Singapore team was able to collect only 8 points. Therefore, the third quarter has ended 46-38 in favour of Sri Lanka. The Sri Lankan team has managed to maintain 8 points gap throughout the last quarter of the game and later on increased it to 10 points. This was the 6th instance of Sri Lanka winning the Asian Netball Championship trophy. The previous Sri Lankan victories had been recorded in the years 1989, 1997, 2001, 2009 and 2018. President Ranil Wickremesinghe, extending a message of congratulations to the victorious Sri Lankan netball team, says the team players has set a fine example to all sportsmen and women in Sri Lanka by showing team spirit and restricted commitment towards victory. He further says in his message that the team, disregarding the existing challenges, has brought honour to the motherland. The Dialogue Constitute has functioned as the official sponsor of the Sri Lanka national netball team.
Meanwhile, the chief of the United States Agency of International Aid, Ms. Samantha Power, says Sri Lanka should go forward by joining hands in hand of its agenda of reforms and economic theories. The US official guarantees to incorporate the business community of the United States for the identification of investment opportunities in Sri Lanka.
Mrs. Samantha Power has given the assurance when she met President Ranil Wickremesinghe at the President's office this morning. Mrs. Power has attended a media briefing at the conclusion of her tour. She said on this occasion that a further 20 million rupees has been set aside today to grant relief to Sri Lanka. This is in addition to the $40 million allocated earlier.
You know, the main thing that I have come to convey on behalf of President Biden is that we stand with you. We are really aware at the highest levels of the U.S. government of just how perilous this moment is for you. I wish that Sri Lanka was the only country in the world experiencing crisis right now, because it would make it easier to concentrate resources and political attention. But I've just come from Pakistan, a third of which is underwater, for example. I'm hopeful that the developments in Ukraine in the last day might make a peace agreement more possible. It's very dramatic events there. You know, you all follow football. You know, that war, in addition to its brutality, is such an own goal, you know, for the Russian Federation, but it's an own goal as well for the world's economy and for fuel prices and for fertilizer prices, with Russia as the #1 fertilizer exporter. So the heartbreak inflicted by that war just ripples across the planet in ways that are devastating. But, you know, I feel personally very connected to this country. My previous meetings with you, Mr. President, of course, almost all of them occurred with Mangala there, you know, creating mischief and always with ideas and great creativity about how to bring people together.
Firstly, must thank you for the $40 million for the farmers, which will help us because we are about to launch a food security and nutrition initiative, which will go down to the 14,000 basic administrative units in the country. And we are making use of all the officials, plus the private sector and others, to push to ensure that we are self-sufficient in rice and many of the other foodstuffs. We have a good maha cultivation, that's the main season, then the economy gets stabilized. And if you go to the smaller season, also 2023, that will help us certainly in a big way. As far as democracy items are concerned, the 22nd Amendment is before Parliament. We are waiting for the Parliament to pass it. In administrations, we brought out the first cabinet manual in Sri Lanka. So that will have, we go before the cabinet, and we'll establish procedures for the whole of the cabinet. The oversight committees are back again, and we'll be looking forward to support from the USA.
On Monday afternoon, the coffin will proceed to St. Giles Cathedral, accompanied by the King and other members of the royal family. The coffin will remain under the continuous vigil for 24 hours.
Mourners watched the silence as her coffin wrapped in the royal standard for Scotland passed by. Crowds have also gathered to hear King Charles III proclaimed monarch in Scotland, Wales and North Ireland. Ceremonies took place on the Royal Mile next to St. Giles Cathedral, as well as at Cardiff Castle in the Wales and at Hillsborough Castle in County Down. The Queen's daughter, the Prince Royal, and is travelling in the second car of the cortege on the 175th mile journey, accompanied by her husband, Vice Admiral Sir Tim Lawrence. The coffin is set to arrive in Edinburgh at about 16 hours BTS after a slow 6-hour drive, which will see it go through the Aberdeen and Dundee. Earlier, 6 gamekeepers from her Balmoral estate placed the Queen's oak coffin into the hearse before she left Balmoral for the final time. The wreath on top of the coffin features some of the Queen's favourite flowers, all cut from the estate: white heather, dahlias and sweet peas, phlox and pine firs. When the cortege reached the Ballater, Aberdeenshire, the closest village to Balmore, flowers were thrown in the road by mourners, some of whom had tied Union flags to barriers. Once in Edinburgh, the Queen's coffin will remain at Holyrood House, the monarch's official residence in Scotland, overnight. On Monday afternoon, the coffin will process to St. Giles Cathedral, accompanied by the King and other members of the royal family. The coffin will remain under continuous vigil for 24 hours, with the public able to pay their respects. A service will be held at the cathedral in the evening. The following day, Princess Anne will accompany her mother's coffin as it travels from Edinburgh Airport back to Buckingham Palace via RAF Knowlholt. Prince William and his wife Catherine have been named the new Prince and Princess of Wales by King Charles III. The pair will also take the Duke and Duchess of Cornwall titles previously held by the King and Camilla, the new Queen consort. President Joe Biden has confirmed that he will be attending the funeral for Queen Elizabeth II. When asked by reporters The Ohio on Friday whether he planned to attend the funeral, Biden replied that he will be going. South Korean President Yoon Suk Yeol has also confirmed the participation.
Today, I am proud to create
The Presidential Media Division has declared today the President Ranil Wickremesinghe is scheduled to attend the funeral ceremony of Her Royal Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. President Ranil Wickremesinghe, upon arrival at the office of the British High Commission this morning, has called on British High Commissioner Ms. Sarah Halton and expressed his condolences on the passing away of Queen of Great Britain Elizabeth II. The President has also placed a note in the special souvenir book at the Commission's office. President Wickremesinghe, in his message, has greatly appreciated the immense services of Queen Elizabeth II to the world community for a period of more than 70 years.
Now, many groups have been subject to immense grief upon hearing the demise of Her Royal Majesty of Great Britain Queen Elizabeth II. Among such individuals, Jinadasa Liyanage of Sri Lanka is being accorded a special position. Jinadasa Liyanage, better known as Ahinsaka Mama of Petta, is reported to be a pen pal of Her Royal Highness since a period of around 35 to 40 years. Ahinsaka Mama has recalled his reminiscences in a special interview with the national television.
ඉතිහාසයක් තියෙනවා මේ බකින්නන් මාලිගාවත් එක්ක මෙතන. ඉතින් සෑම වසරකම මට ලිපි එවනවා. මට 2017 මම මේ પાස්පෝර්ට් ඔක්කොම හදාගෙන තියෙන්නේ මහරජිනිය මට ලන්ඩන් එකට එන්න කියලා තිබුණා. මේ මට බකින්නන් මාලිගාවෙන් ලැබුණු ලිපිය. කුමාරයා අන්තරා වුණා. ඒ කුමාරයා අන්තරා වෙච්ච වෙලාවේ තමයි මේ මවුරජින තමයි මට මේ දෙක එව්වේ. මේ ෆොටෝ එක අතුව මේ 2021 මේ රජිනිය තමයි මට මේ කාඩ් එක එව්වේ. එදා ඉඳන්ම අවුරුදු 30ක ගනුදෙනුවක් මේ මගේ මේ ඇල්බම් එකේ තියෙනවා. ආසෙන් උඩින් ගියත් මට ලියුමක් එවල යන්නේ ලංකාවෙන් පසු කරනවා නම් චාස් කුමාරයා හරි රජපෞලේ කවුරු හරි මේ තියෙන my dear ජිනදාස ලියනගේ I will destroy Sri Lanka 2021 අප්‍රේල් 26 මේ 2021 මේ තියෙන්නේ චාස් කුමාරු ලංකාවට එනකොට my dear ජිනදාස
The ultimate expectation of Liyanage is to attend the funeral ceremony of the late Queen of Great Britain Elizabeth II. Author of the novel Premani Shansha, Chandraratna Bandara has been felicitated with the Swarna Pustaka Award at an award presentation ceremony held at the BMICH premises in Colombo last evening. The ceremony has been organised by the Sri Lanka Book Publishers Association with the objective of achieving progress in the local literary sector. The annual presentation of awards for Best Novel is being carried out by a panel of 20 veteran literary personnel. 5 best novels published last year have been proposed for the final stage of the Swarna Pustaka Awards presentation. These novels were Nakalamuni, compiled by Eric Ileaparachi, Premanishansha by Chandraratna Bandara, Mage Chicago Hadavata by Shamal Vijayakodi, Sandhyanandaya by Kirti Valisara, and Hind Dosmale by Sepali Maya Dunne. Premanishansha novel, which has received the award, is regarded as a work of literature and fiction. The guest of honour at the awards ceremony was Governor of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, Dr. Nandalal Weerasinghe. Among others who have attended the event included President of the Sri Lanka Book Publishers Association, Samantha Indivara Samarasinghe, authors, literary critics and officials of the Swarna Pustaka panel of literary personnel.
Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena says that the government will continuously extend assistance for the development of the garment industry. He has also given the assurance to a group of representatives to join Garment Factory Forum, whom has met recently. The meeting has taken place at the Prime Minister's office in Colombo. The Prime Minister has extended his gratitude to the garment industrialist for recording a growth in exports in the midst of prevailing local and international economic setback. The government is taking measures to streamline the facilities provided for the industry. The garment industry has been established itself as an important industry in the country. The Prime Minister has therefore requested the representatives to attack more foreign investments to expand business activities and to engage in further diversification and explorations. President of the Joint Garment Factory Forum, Rod Almaling, has made a clarification regarding the existing problems pertaining to certain duties and transportation of goods. Prime Minister's Secretary Anura Dissanayake has also attended the meeting.
Now, a 2-day exhibition and investment meeting on regenerative power has commenced at the headquarters of the All Ceylon Buddhist Congress today. The objective of the event is to propagate regenerative power methodologies and equipment as a remedy to the power crisis in the country. The exhibition and the forum has been jointly organized by the All Ceylon Buddhist Congress, Sri Lanka New Innovators Commission, the Sri Lanka Sustainable Energy Authority and the Bank of Ceylon. Chief guest of this occasion was Minister Ramesh Patirana, Venerable Kirinde Asajithera of the Gangarama Vihara, State Minister Indi Kanurudha and President of the ACBC, Chandra Nimala Vakishta, have also participated in the event. Minister Ramesh Patirana said that the regeneration power sources have given permission to operate through a proper evaluation process. The Ceylon Electricity Board has agreed on the price of 35 rupees for the unit of electricity.
And meanwhile, a special workshop on the new technologies in surgeries relating to the thoracic cavity was held with the participation of several surgeons of international reputation yesterday. A special feature of the event conducted at the National Hospital on Respiratory Diseases in Valisara has been introduction of the latest methodologies to complete an operation within the minimum period of time under the new methodologies. The chief guest at this occasion was thoracic surgeon, Spanish national Dr. Tiago Gonzalo Rivas. Training has been given to the local surgeons on this occasion. Specialist physician and thoracic surgeon Dr. Sumana Handagala said that the new method of a successful surgical procedure to perform operations with the shortest period and with minimum pain without causing any affections or complications. Specialist physician and thoracic surgeon Dr. Sumana Handakala said that many important methodologies pertaining to thoracic patients were able to be learnt at the session. These achievements will be utilized for the people and the future well-being of the patients. Stay tuned for international news after this break.
Welcome back on Foreign News. Now, Americans remembered 9/11 on Sunday with readings of victims' names, volunteer work and other tributes 21 years after the deadliest terror attack on US soil. The September 11 attacks, commonly known as 9/11, were 4 coordinated suicide terrorist attacks carried out by the militant Islamic extremist network Al-Qaeda against the United States. On the morning of Tuesday, September 11, 2001, 19 terrorists hijacked 4 commercial airlines scheduled to travel from the northeastern US to California. The hijackers crashed the first 2 planes into the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center in New York City and the third plane into the Pentagon in Arlington, Virginia. The 4th plane was intended to hit a federal government building in Washington, D.C., but crashed in a field following a passenger revolt. The attacks killed nearly 3,000 people and instigated the global war on terror.
American Airlines Flight 77 circled over downtown Washington, D.C. before crashing.
That's all the news we have for tonight. Do join us tomorrow at 8:50 p.m. for the very latest on Channel Eye. I'm Delanjali together with Sharita signing off. Good night.
Good night.